Hi guys, my name is Nonima Dikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about what Muzi Sibia claimed during the proceedings. He was asked about his bank cards, that they were busy doing transactions while he says he was in KZN. They were busy doing transactions in Gauteng province. So he said that um, the bank cards, he left them with his baby mama Mbali Moyo. Okay, let's get through with this because that plays a major role in the trial. Sorry, in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Sorry. It plays a major role, especially regarding the bank statements, alleged evidence of presence, and the intent. So let's get through that and break it down very carefully because, wow. So, what Music Sibia claims means number one, alibi or non presence explanation. Okay. Moses Sibia claims that he was physically in KwaZulu Natal, not in Gauteng during the time the transactions occurred. If the ATM withdrawals and shop purchases were actually done by his baby mama, then the transactions cannot place him at the crime scene. That we get. That's number one. Number two, separation of actions. In criminal law, an accused can only be linked to a crime if they personally committed the act, intended it, or participated in a common purpose. Transactions done by someone else using his card without his knowledge or consent may not implicate him, provided he can convince the court the baby mama acted independently. Okay? Now, what are the legal implications when it comes to this? Number one, challenging the bank statements. The defense can argue that the bank statements alone do not prove Muzi's involvement. Evidence must show that he personally made the withdrawals or purchases, not just that the card belonged to him. Okay? They can request ATM, CCTV footage, shop CCTV, or a PIN verification to confirm who actually made the transactions. But in this case, we know that Umuzi gave consent to the baby mama because he left the card with her. So the PIN was also given by him. Number two, undermining the state's narrative. Yeah, what Bubalo is trying to do when it comes to the entire situation is getting undermined by everything that Muzi rebuts with. If the state tries to claim that the bank activity places him in Gauteng during the crime, this explanation directly refutes the allegation. It introduces a reasonable doubt about his presence at the crime scene. Okay? Number three, impact on common purpose or confessions. If Muzi is not physically present, he cannot share the common purpose in the alleged plan. Okay. Any confessions or point outs that attempt to link him to events in Gauteng could be weakened by this thing of Umbali is the one that had the card, especially if corroborated by his testimony or other evidence showing he was KwaZulu Natal. Okay. Number four, possible verification steps. The court may ask for proof of where he was. Travel records, bus, taxi, whatever means that you use to travel. Witness in KwaZulu Natal, perhaps communication logs, WhatsApp, SMS, phone tower, data. Similarly, to the state trying to prove he authorized the transaction. The state may try to prove he authorized the transactions. The defense will need to disprove that thing. Okay. And then the strategy of the defense that they can use in that situation. The claim allows the defense to attack the reliability of the state's digital evidence, show that ownership of the card does not equal participation in the crime, open the door to question who else had access to his banking information, possibly pointing to the false assumption or framing. Okay. So those are the things that I think when it comes to him saying the baby mama is the one that was using the card, So that alone, if the baby mama was to come to the courtroom and say, actually, Muzi is telling the truth, he did leave the card with me. Key point, bank transactions alone cannot prove Muzi was in Gauteng during the murder, especially if he can show the card was used by someone else with his consent or unknowingly, okay? And this could weaken both the common purpose argument and any reliance on these bank statements as evidence of his guilt, because that's what Bado is trying to get at, and it's not helping anyone at this point. So, yeah, the baby mama, I didn't see that one coming, yes. I didn't see that one coming, but it was there, guys. It was there. It just came. It was just there, and I was like, okay, Muzi, is this where we landed now? Yes, that is where we ended up being. Okay. The bank statements, ATM withdrawals, shop purchasing in Gauteng is what we were dealing with, and seemingly pointing to Muzi Sibia's presence in Gauteng. But one thing that we must take out of this is that there was a twist in all of that. Muzi said that he wasn't even there in Gauteng at the time. He used to visit Gauteng here and there, but he was staying in KZN in 2014. Anyway, one thing that we can take out of this is that even though they are talking about the transactions in Gauteng and stuff, they still did not place Muzi at the crime scene. Period. According to Muzi, he moved from Gauteng to KwaZulu-Natal, leaving his bank cards with his baby mama, okay? All the transactions, the state claims to tie him to the crime. ATM withdrawals, shop purchases, daily spending were actually done by Mbali Moyo. That is what Muzi is saying. Or in fact, that's not exactly what he said. He claimed Guti and he gave the card. So it could have been anyone else at other times it could be Mbali or whoever else she sent to use for that card. And what does this mean for the trial of Muzi? First, the ownership of bank card does not automatically prove the presence at the crime scene. That one is clear. We can't go around any other thing. If someone else had access to the card, those transactions cannot be used to place Muzi in Gauteng during the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. That's something that we need to agree on at least. And one thing that I like about Muzi, he is attentive. Very attentive, guy. He listens with his ears, that guy. This claim also undermines Muzi, undermines the state's narrative. If Muzi was in KwaZulu-Natal, he could not have participated in an alleged crime in Gauteng. That's impossible. And if he wasn't there, then the common purpose, confessions and pointing out linking to the crime come under serious scrutiny because what? And also, if the state was serious about this, when they were about to bring this so-called what you call bank statement and stuff, they should have brought CCTV footage and ATM machine footage to prove that Muzi is the one that was doing the transactions. There we see him. They can't. They don't even have that to prove their narrative. So the defense can now request verification, ATM CCTV to see who actually withdrew the cash, shop CCTV to see, to confirm who made the purchases, phone records and witnesses to confirm his whereabouts, all of those things. But the state, guys, these are the things that they could have done themselves and said, this is the proof. That is them proving. But now in that court of Judge Rata, it looks like something else. Like Muzi is the one that must prove his innocence. That time, he's not the one who alleged that he made a crime. So the key point in this, the state's evidence must link the accused personally to the act, owing it to us as South Africans that Muzi was part of the crime, and this is how he was part of it. Owning a card is not enough, and Muzi's alibi, supported by who had access to his card, throws a wrench in the prosecution story that he was in Gauteng. And also the mere fact that they can put him on the crime scene is another issue. that also is a problem for them. Yeah, because it's not balancing the equation. This is exactly the kind of twist that makes high-profile trials so tense because it challenges assumptions, exposes weaknesses, and could tip the scale in favor of the defense. They did not do investigations. That's what it is. Investigations were not thoroughly done. That's exactly what's happening here. So, guys, thank you so much. I want to hear your views. Drop your thoughts below. Was the bank card really used by someone else in your thoughts? Or is this a clever alibi in a high stake trial, which is the Senzo Meyiwa? You know, it's a high profile case. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you are also commenting, and I will bring you all the latest courtroom updates right here on the Noni M podcast. And please make sure that every day you follow us, you like, you share, you subscribe. And not only just that, and also please watch the videos up until the end. What are your thoughts? Drop them below in the comment section. Let's have a conversation, a full blown. Do you think that the baby mama story and the card being left with her is just a story, or Muzi is onto the money there? What are your thoughts? Thank you so much. I'll see you on our next video. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.